everyone, it's Jack from Cultaholic.com, back again on a very snowy day here in Newcastle upon Tyne. But never mind the cold, because we have news to talk about. We've got 3 big pieces of news from the world of wrestling. 2 more WWE stars are reported to have requested their release from the company, following on from all the rumours and reports of the Revival potentially doing so yesterday. We're also going to talk about an NXT title match that has been confirmed for the next TakeOver in Phoenix. And finally as well, a huge name has been announced for Joey Janela's Spring Break 3. It's a good name from years gone by, a legend of the business, if I do sort of bestow that opinion upon you myself. I think it's a good one. Can't wait to tell you who it is. Let's crack on with all of the news. First and foremost, yes, 2 further WWE stars are said to have requested their release from the promotion. That is via Pro Wrestling Sheet online. Basically, those 2 people are Mike and Maria Kanellis, the real-life married couple who were brought into WWE, if you remember, under this whole power of love gimmick. They were like a lovey-dovey couple. They were like annoying everybody. There was some sort of, I guess they tried to portray it as like Maria was the brains behind the operation. She was playing quite a good heel figure, comparative in many ways to Stephanie McMahon, I suppose. And Mike Kanellis was, you know, the wrestler of the 2. Not to suggest that Maria hasn't wrestled before, of course she has. But the pair came in after spending some time in Ring of Honor and transforming their characters and getting married and stuff. And then they never really took off in WWE. They haven't to this point. The Pro Wrestling Sheet report says that Mike and Maria are annoyed or dissatisfied, I think was the word, with how WWE have used them so far. And I can totally understand that because they haven't really used them. You know, Mike Kanellis has only really been appearing on main event or on live events, not really on Raw or SmackDown very much at all since making his debut. I think also it's important to note that maybe, given their recent history in Ring of Honor, they may have certain ties to the independent scene that would make it easier for them to hop across somewhere else if they were granted their release. Of course, the big rumor is going to be that they're going to go to AEW because that's where everyone's linked to now when they, you know, seem to be hopping from one promotion to another. But at the same time, I wouldn't be too surprised if they just headed back to Ring of Honor instead. Ring of Honor, of course, have been signing people such as PCO, Brody King, Bandido. So I think that maybe they could welcome them back into the fold rather than AEW. Who knows? As always, only time will tell. In other news, a big title match was confirmed this week on NXT for TakeOver Phoenix, and it's for Ricochet's North American Championship. His challenger is none other than Jonathan Wrestling himself, Johnny Gargano. This was heavily alluded to last week, where basically Gargano and Ricochet agreed to have a match, but that was officially confirmed this week on NXT. I'm really looking forward to that. I don't want to get too excited ahead of time, but I think we could be looking at a match of the year contender if the match is given enough time. Both Ricochet and Gargano had wonderful 2018s. Both of them put on excellent matches. Gargano had that trilogy against Ciampa, the first match of which in particular was one of my favourites of the year. The match against Almas in Philadelphia was obviously WWE's first 5-star match since Punk versus Cena in 2011. And on Ricochet's side of things, he had very good matches against the likes of Adam Cole, Velveteen Dream. He was in that War Games match that I personally really enjoyed. He was in the North American title ladder match in New Orleans. That was really good as well. So I think put these 2 guys together, and I guess, I'm not going to say magic is guaranteed, but I think the chances of this match being very good are very high. And finally, Joey Janela has made a huge announcement for Joey Janela's Spring Break 3. Now, before I tell you who it is, essentially, I'll give you a little rundown of what Joey Janela's Spring Break is for those who may be unfamiliar with it. Joey Janela's Spring Break is a show that runs annually over WrestleMania weekend in whatever city WrestleMania is in. The first 2 kind of got a lot of buzz and a lot of attention online for bringing back names from yesteryear, such as Marty Jannetty, Glacier, that sort of thing. There's also a big, silly Royal Rumble kind of effort where there's entrances such as The Invisible Man, who I think even got a few eliminations in his stint in that Rumble match. The big name that's been announced so far for Joey Janela's Spring Break 3, Part 2, which I think implies that it's a 2-day event, is Mantor, everyone's favourite half man, half Minotaur superstar from days gone by. Can't wait. If that doesn't secure your ticket, I don't know who will. This is very much in the spirit of what Joey Janela's Spring Break is all about. He's never afraid of looking silly, but also I think in a weird way, these events do seem to bring out the best of these sort of people, and it's always booked in a very entertaining fashion as well. So even if it's slightly too car crashy for your usual tastes, I'd highly recommend checking it out over WrestleMania weekend, whether you're there or on demand, just because it's a lot of fun. It's just a lot of fun. The crowd gets so drunk as well. Oh man, you can just tell that they've been having a lot of beers. So that's it for the news this morning. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully the snow will not hinder my route to the office in the near future if any more big news breaks. But don't worry, I'm sure we'll get it to you one way or another. I've been Jack from Cultaholic.com. You can follow me on Twitter if you want to, as Jack the Jobber. You can follow all of us at Cultaholic and check out our Patreon as well, patreon.com/Cultaholic. That would be lovely and kind and generous. And also, of course, if you haven't done so already, do not forget to hit subscribe and to join us.